Hello and welcome back. So now in this video we will add a health to our enemy. So for that, first of all, in the prefabs folder just drag the player prefab and the enemy prefab. So now we have both of the prefabs, and now in the enemy scripts right here we will create a new script by the name of enemy health. Then click on this enemy and drag and drop the script to the enemy game object, as you can see right here. Now let's just quickly open up the enemy health, and right here we will remove both of these functions. Then we will have a serialized field right here, and then we will create a variable by the name of health, and this will be by default equals to 100f, because as you know the health is by default 100. And then after this the next variable will be enemy script. Then after this we will have a serialized field again, and then we will name this as enemy health slider. Then right down below we will create a awake function, so type private void awake, and inside this function in here we will say enemy script, and this will be equals to get component, and we will get the enemy component, and that's it. Then down below we will have a new function, so type public void. It will be a tag damage, and in here we will pass a float variable as a parameter by the name of damage amount. Then inside this function we will first check if the health is less than or equals to 0. So it means that if the enemy is dead, not dead, if he is dead, then we will simply return it. And then right here we will say if the health is minus equals the damage amount, then we will say if the health is less than or equals to 0f. So we will set the health to 0, and then right down below we will simply kill the enemy. But before killing the enemy we need to give damage to the enemy, and where we give damage to the enemy, it is on the bullet script. So let me just open up the bullet script, and now if you scroll down, as you can see right here, we leave a comment in the previous videos, and right here we will give the enemy damage. So let me remove this, or let's just leave it. Right here we will say if collision dot compare tag, then in here we will call the tag manager, and then we will get the enemy underscore tag. Then inside this curly brackets, what we will do, we will give damage to the enemy. So we will type collision dot get component, and then right here we will type enemy health. Then we will add round brackets, then we will type dot tag damage, and in here we will pass the damage amount. And if you guys don't know what is this damage amount, as you can see right here in the previous video, we already declared the damage amount variable, which is equals to 35. So whenever the bullet touches the enemy health will be decreased by 35. And as you can see right here, the enemy health is total 100. So it will be decreased from 100. And once we give the damage to the enemy, then we will simply destroy it. So we will type destroy game object, because we don't need the enemy. The mission of that enemy is completed. He die, and then we will simply destroy the game object of the enemy. After this, we will check if the enemy died or not. So we will do that on the enemy script. Let me open up this enemy script right here. Right here, we will create a variable private bool, and we will name this as enemy died. Then right here in the update, we will check if the enemy died, then we will simply return. So if the enemy died, then we don't need to run these two functions. Then after this, down below right here, after this enemy attacked, we will create a new function by the name of enemy die, and inside this function what we will do, we will set the enemy died to true. Let's make the function name as enemy died. Okay, so when the enemy died, it's set to true. Then as you can see right here, it will simply return and won't run these two functions. After this, what we will do, we will say enemy animation dot play animation, and we will call the tag manager dot death underscore animation underscore name. We will play the death animation. Then after this, we will destroy the game object. So for that right here, we will create a new function by the name of destroy enemy after delay, and in here we will say destroy game object, and it will basically destroy the game object which is holding this enemy script, which is this one, enemy object. Then right here we will type invoke destroy enemy after delay, and type this inside double quotes, and we will destroy the enemy after 1.5 seconds. So that's it. Now if we get back to the enemy health script, right here we will call the function. So type enemy script dot enemy died, okay, which is basically this function which we created. Now let's just save this all, get back to Unity, and right here as you can see we have this error. So get back, and at the top we will type using Unity engine.ui. Now save it, get back to Unity, and as you can see the slider error is now gone, but now we have this invoke. So it says that the name invoke does not exist in the current context. This is because we need to make the I capital. And as you can see now the errors are now gone, and now if we play our game, so shot the enemy 1, 2, 3. As you can see now the enemy died after 3 shots. And as you notice, the enemy play the death animation multiple times. This is because we need to click on this enemy game object, then click on this animator, and right here double click on this death, and we need to uncheck this loop time. That's it. Now the enemy will play the death animation only single time. So now if we test it out, 1, 2, 3. So now as you can see the enemy died, and the animation was played only a single time. So now we are giving damage to the enemy, and in the next video we will work further on our game. So see you guys in the next video.